Hello and welcome to today's demo jam from the AppExchange. My name is Jeff Gross and I'm a Salesforce MVP. I'm joined as always by two of my favorite AppExchange friends. That's Joshua Hoskins and Amanda Nelson. Joshua, how are you doing today?
Working from home, virtually, again, but excited to be here.
I am excited you're here. And Amanda, how are you today?
I'm good. Yes, I too working from home here in Connecticut. I'm excited for this demo jam today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is, and we have you as an audience out there. You can follow along today on Twitter using the hashtag DemoJam. That's how you can show the Ohana that you are joining us today. You can ask audience questions out there, or right here within the GoToWebinar chat function, you can ask a question of our participants, which we want to hear from you so that they can answer a question about their apps. But you need to find out who's going to be participating. Today, we've got solutions from Lifeguard Solutions, FilePulse, Taskray, Vonage, Icertis, and Salesforce Crisis App from Salesforce Labs. Now, to get onto the rules, I've got Joshua queued up here to tell us how the rules of a demo jam go.
Thanks, Jeff. So the rules are pretty simple. Every demo jam participant has 3 minutes, no more, but possibly less if they're really good, to complete their demo. At 3 minutes, we will cut them off and allow the next demo jam participant to proceed to impress us with doing the demo jam in 3 minutes or less. Each demo jam participant is allowed 0 slides, and of course, there'll be one winner with bragging rights, a fancy email signature, and a trophy that will be mailed to them shortly after the winning, and they'll be around to give a short little acceptance speech after as well. Those are the rules, Jeff.
All right, without any further ado, let's just jump into it. Our first contestant today is FilePulse. Do you find yourself getting frustrated by the lack of notifications that come out of contact management directly in CRM today? You know, it's a big task, and trying to keep track of all of your new file versions and uploads, it's a pain. Well, with FilePulse, you're going to be using a superior alert system with contract management that you'll never miss a beat. You know, your users can even customize how they want messaging to work for them right inside the app. And by setting up a wizard on the homepage of Salesforce, everything's going to be right where they need it so they can do it easily, quickly, and right in front of their face. I've got with me today Marissa. She is going to be doing the demo of FilePulse. Marissa, are you out there?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
I do. So let's jump into it. Your 3 minutes begins now.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. So, hi, everyone. As Jeff mentioned in the intro, FilePulse was designed with contract managers and other users really involved in the CLM process in mind. So, although today's demo will be centered around contracts, I just want everyone listening to know that this can be configured for any standard or custom object in Salesforce where files are added. So let's go ahead and get started. From the FilePulse tab in Salesforce on the FilePulse app, you'll see here a FilePulse wizard. It's just going to outline 6 easy steps that you're going to take to configure your solution. So we're going to go ahead and actually walk through those 6 steps and configure our solution today. So first step here is to choose our object. We're going to go ahead and choose the contract object and hit save and continue. Next, we're going to choose any users that we want to be notified. So for today's demo, I'm going to choose Marissa Every. She's a member of our general counsel. She deals with managing contracts on a daily basis. So we want Marissa to be notified anytime new files or new file versions are added to contract records. So once we identify the type for Marissa, we can then go ahead and choose what types of notifications we want Marissa to receive. So we're going to go ahead and we want Marissa to receive emails, we want to post to Chatter, and also create FilePulse tasks for Marissa. So we'll go ahead, we'll save those options and hit save and continue again. So next, we're going to identify the criteria in which Marissa should be notified. So for today, we're going to say basically anytime we have a contract that's in draft status, we want Marissa to get those notifications. So once you choose your criteria, we'll hit save and continue again. And it's going to bring you to these custom content settings that you can customize for your users, basically what notifications they're going to see. So these do come out of the box. We're going to keep these here today. We're not going to do any customization, and we're going to hit save and continue again. So it's as simple as that. Once you have your solution configured, you can go ahead. We're going to jump over to the contract object. So now I'm just going to show you what Marissa will see whenever a file or a new file version is added to a contract record. So from the related tab here on this contract, we're just going to assume that a file was recently added. We'll see here we have that test demo jam file that was added today. So now you'll notice on this contract record that Marissa's received a new task letting her know that that file's been created, as well as an app mention on Chatter. And then in addition to this, Marissa's received an email in her inbox. Now, you might be asking the question, what about other users who might not want to be notified for all contracts, but specific contracts? So other users do have the option to opt in and choose their notification settings themselves. And then from the home page, users can easily manage all their tasks. And if they do opt in to specific records, they can also manage those opt-ins and those opt-outs. So there you have it. That was a very quick overview of FilePulse, its ease of setup. So please download it today on the AppExchange.
There you go. Hey, so what I like about this, Marissa, is when we think about how important it is, contracts are, well, contracts, and you said any other object as well, but contracts in specific terms, these are so important to the lifeblood of business, especially right now where people are needing to know what's going on. They're not necessarily in the office passing everything around from desk to desk, talking to each other about exactly where each of these deals are. I can see where it's going to be really useful, especially with the wizard that you can set up in the beginning there, to know exactly which contracts, which records you need to be notified of and how you want to be notified, both within Chatter, tasks, and the email notifications. So looks pretty simple, looks like a good way of making sure that everybody's informed of what's going on, especially when you start getting into versions and things start coming in as red lines. You want to make sure that everybody involved gets those things done as quick as possible. So good job.
Exactly. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm going to pass it over to Amanda to see what we've got for an audience question.
Thank you so much. That was a great demo. So much packed into 3 minutes. Folks, if you have questions, just put them right in the chat here. And you can also tweet the questions with #DemoJam. So the first question that came in, is there any type of training or support available to use and set up the app?
Sure, great question. So we do have a Salesforce community that's full of information that includes tutorial videos that walk you through step-by-step, basically all those aspects for configuring, as well as we do have a dedicated support email address where users can actually have one-on-one conversations with our team members if they encounter specific issues.
So Marissa, that was not a quiz, but I tell you what, that was the right answer. You've got a Salesforce community set up to make sure everybody can get in, work together, learn from the best, and collaborate with each other. So good job on that. Appreciate you doing the demo today. You are the first one out of the gate. But to get to our next demo, I got to let it turn over to Joshua. Joshua, what do we got next?
Well, thanks so much, Jeff. So next up, we've got Icertis. Icertis is a leading contract lifecycle management platform for enterprise, helping customers like Johnson & Johnson, Google, and Airbus solve the hardest contract problems on the easiest, most configurable platform. Icertis was recently named a leader in the first ever Gartner Magic Quadrant for CLM, as well as the 2019 Forrester Wave scoring the highest possible score for customer references. That's a lot. All right, so today with us we have Nathan, and he's just going to show us all about Icertis. Are you out there, Nathan?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me clearly?
We can. Your 3 minutes starts now. Good luck.
Thank you. Wonderful. I'm going to start off saying what Joshua said earlier. Our market-leading platform, when integrated into Salesforce platform, I'm going to show how easy and powerful it is for salespeople to create and manage contracts. So I'm going to start off with an opportunity, obviously, for a salesperson to, that's a start point. As you can see here, I created an opportunity here, and it's ready for running through the contracts. So there are 3 products that's added to the opportunity. What I'm going to show you here is how easy and intuitive it is to create a contract. And just click on this sales agreement. You notice how quickly and in a fraction of a second, the whole contract process is being created, set up, and ready. That's it. Boom. You can see here. If I go into the details, you'll see the contract that was just created. Now, as a next step, I can go drill down into the contract to take a look at it, what's going on and how the contract was set up. If you notice here, all details from opportunity has been brought over into the contract. This is very configurable. Customers can decide what data they want to pull into the contract right from the opportunity, avoiding the data duplication. If you also notice here, I've brought over all the products from opportunity that was part of the opportunity, and there is no need to recreate or re-enter the products as well. The product line items comes through into the contract. So all the product related data you could see that came through over from opportunity without having to do any additional data entry work. Now let's see how what other actions I can take on this. There are a bunch of actions that I can do. First and foremost is the request for sending a review of the contract itself. I can do in a couple of ways. First is I can just click on this button and I can select the people available here and send it for review. It's all preset here, and you can click on the send button. The other option is I can straight away download the document here and get the document opened. And by the way, the same process will be done when you send that document for review for an external party. They'll get the email and a document attached to it, and they can download the document. And let's say I'm going to edit this with something here. I've edited the contract now. I'm saving it, and I'm going to send it back to the sender. In this case, the sender will receive the email, and he or she can upload the document that he received, click on the file, upload it, and the document goes into the file. So if you notice here, the document has come over, created a version, and I can compare the document here, and I can see what has been changed here right over here. And that's the contract that was created just now, and you could see as a salesperson, I can review the status of the contract that was just created, and it's available here. And we have chat and notification integration that's going to tell all the action that's been happening here so that the user is always up to date on the contract, what's going on. And
I'm so sorry, Nathan, but you've run out of time, but you did happen to show us some amazing things that I would like to point out here. I did notice the speed of which you were able to create that contract. You know, when a deal gets committed, you want to be able to generate and get that contract out the door as soon as possible. And just to have it really there seamlessly is really, really helpful. When you were looking at the contract, there are a couple other items that I noticed that caught my eye too, is being able to track the commitments you make during the contracting cycle, as well as the deviations from standard. You know, I know that, you know, when I've worked with many organizations, a lot of times those items are not particularly tracked, and they create a lot of havoc for delivery teams or the order processing teams to really understand what was really committed to the customer from a support perspective for customer manage after the deal gets signed. So just having a contract management system that manages the whole entire life cycle, it's in there with the right information at the right time, but also a lot of visibility for other teams in the organization just makes it a great tool to have in place. Thanks so much for the demo today.
Thank you.
Amanda, what questions do we have out there for Icertis?
Yes, great demo. The question we have is the fact that this customer needs to do some internal negotiations with finance and legal before the contract actually gets sent out. What does that process look like with Icertis?
Fantastic. That's a very great question. So what we do is we provide an opportunity for internal review in a couple of ways. The most efficient way is essentially by collaborating directly with our collaboration tool, which is available right inside the platform, where the internal reviewers can exchange notes. All remains within the contracting platform for future use and for auditing purposes. So no data gets lost. Everything remains within the contract object itself. That's first way. And second is as I showed earlier, the user can send it off as an email, as an attachment, and review it and send it back. That's for a fully completed document review.
That's great. Thank you for those options. Seems very, very configurable and customizable to anyone's needs. So thank you for that. Okay, it's time to turn it over to Jeff. Mr. Gross, who do we have up next?
We have got Lifeguard. And what's really interesting, this is really timely now, but at the same time, it's going to be timely many other times in the future as well. Lifeguard, they're going to be showing off the COVID-19 response kit. You know, most organizations did not have a streamlined digital system in place to handle the vast amount of health and safety requirements that were thrust on them by the COVID-19 pandemic. Health and safety teams reverted back to inefficient spreadsheets, paper forms, and all kinds of email thrust back and forth. In order to help, Lifeguard released a free, fully functional app it's all carved out of their premium product and pre-configured to help with the COVID-19 specific workflow and tracking. It's optimized to install and go live the same day. So this is extremely quick, and I'm not sure if you can install it and get it running in 3 minutes, but in order to find out everything it can do and really show the health and safety teams out there for not only this COVID-19 crisis, but also for many other things that people need to be prepared for in the future, I've got Gavin. Hey, Gavin, can you hear me out there? Are you ready?
I'm definitely ready, and I can definitely hear you as well.
Brilliant. Well, I want you to take off and show me what you can do. Your 3 minutes starts now.
Perfect. So team, we're actually going to be going through a little bit of a scenario here where either A, an employee has gotten sick, has come down with some level of illness itself, or B, if they've reported into their manager that they're not feeling too well, one way or the other, an incident or an individual injury form is filled in. So we start off with an individual self-report of injury or illness. Again, this complete form can be modified to really record the specific information that's actually coming in from that individual employee or that individual's manager. But once that actually comes in, we're actually going to flip over to a form that's a little bit further down the road here. This is essentially a form that a health and safety officer or manager would actually receive. So in this form, we're going to have information specific to, well, what were they feeling? What type of classification are we going to put around it based on OSHA standards? Coming down, understanding exactly where it actually is happening on the physical body itself. Coming down a little further here, but more importantly, the specific COVID-19 information. So has this person been tested? Are we awaiting results? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is a quarantine specifically required? And all the individual treatment options and facility questions that would really be pertinent to this individual form itself. Now, flipping over from this form, from the initial report, we get into things such as investigation. So from an organizational standpoint, understanding how this happened, why it happened, and then taking the appropriate next steps. So any type of corrective or preventative action that needs to be taken internally to really ensure that we're not only protecting this individual employee, but protecting all of our employees that may have potentially been exposed to this individual virus itself. Now, part of those corrective and preventative actions may be to do some level of individual site inspection. So with our application, we actually have multiple different types of inspections that are included with it. This is just an example of one where it's a room sanitation procedure where they can go through quickly and easily answer the individual questions themselves, essentially identify all the specific information and have that information documented into the solution. But flipping back to the original injury form itself, we actually have additional forms attached to that. So things such as return to work. Since this individual person was obviously off for a little while, in this case, they were quarantined. How long was the quarantine? When did it start? When did it end? When they are to essentially return back to work, what type of restrictions may they be under at this point? And really ensuring that we have all of that information documented specifically for that individual employee. Last couple of things here from an individual location perspective, making sure that we've gone through on an individual site-by-site basis, identifying all the specific individual testing, any individual restrictions or preventative and protective measures we're taking, and lastly, some individual specific around what they're looking for.
Man, right at the wire there. You know what? I as I look at your demo, Gavin, and I think about the fact that in the role that I play in a company, I don't think about all of the health and safety aspects of this. And certainly, even in the introduction that I read there, every organization is impacted by this in some way. And to think of going back to paper forms, spreadsheets, trying to share things across the organization. I mean, not only is Salesforce purpose built for the fact that we can all collaborate on records and save information in a way that's not only secure but also shared out to everybody that's necessary. The fact that you were able to modify and really kind of like you said carve out a piece of your existing app excuse me to be able to not only report this, but now be able to understand what are the ramifications of this, who do we need to notify. There are going to be obviously some reporting authorities outside of the organization that you need to have in there, understanding site implications, and many organizations who have multiple sites, that's going to be really hard to track, and you have something pre-built for this. So it's amazing that you can provide that out there. And as I said, it's really timely for the events of right now, but I can see this being something that absolutely every organization needs to have a way of managing this for any other crisis in the future, regardless of this particular crisis. So I'm glad to see that you were able to take a piece of what you're doing. Obviously, it was already on Salesforce. That was fantastic to see so that we know the security and everything else that's related to it. I am next ready to go and see what our audience is wondering, though. So, Amanda, what have we got for Gavin for a question?
Yes, and the questions are coming in. Thank you all so much. The question is the app available on AppExchange, and is it compatible with Salesforce Care?
Yes, so the answer to both questions is yes. So you can go and download this for free today on the AppExchange, and it does integrate with the Salesforce Cares package as well.
Excellent. That's actually really great news because I in my day work have been working with customers on the Salesforce Care package, and I'm really glad to hear that because that makes it something that's definitely advisable for everybody to go out and check out there, whether you're a first-time user of Salesforce or whether you've been a customer for a long time. Salesforce has some packages out there that are really going to help during this time. So thank you, Gavin. Totally appreciate you doing your demo here. I'm going to hand it back over to Joshua to see who we've got next.
Thanks so much, Jeff. So next up, we have Taskray. You know what, Jeff? First impressions matter, especially when you've won someone's business. Taskray helps customers onboarding projects run smoothly every time. Taskray is built 100% on the Salesforce platform so that all of your customer onboarding and project management work can seamlessly be tied to existing Salesforce data like accounts, opportunities, and contacts, and easily be reported on as well. Today we've got Alex and John going to assist us with a demo. Alex, are you out there?
Hi, Alex here.
Hey, Alex, your 3 minutes starts now. Show us what you got.
Hi, John. Welcome to our daily Sim happy hour. How you doing?
Oh, hey, Alex. These virtual happy hours keep getting earlier and earlier, don't they? I'll be ready in a minute. I just need to close this opportunity quick. I got my signed contract. Okay.
Wow. Wait a minute. You not gonna do a handoff?
You're right. Do I have to?
Yeah, duh. As a CSM myself and being in charge of customer onboarding, I mean, great job in your close one opportunity, but close one is just the beginning. What about all the crucial information that you learned during the sales cycle?
Yeah, you're right, Alex. Sorry, I was up all night binging Tiger King, and I'm a little out of it, and just kind of generally rattled and confused. But anyway, Taskray is thankfully here to do the thinking for me. You remember that project template that you built out with all the steps for onboarding a new customer?
Yeah. What about it?
Well, a project was automatically created from that template as soon as I closed on this opportunity.
What? Shut the front door. How?
I don't know. I think our admin's into like witchcraft or something. Maybe that's why they never turn their webcam on during work from home.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, I've also identified their desired outcomes, their success criteria, their go live date. I even added some internal notes that'll be super useful for you as you get them onboarded. And all of this was sent your way as part of that automated handoff to Taskray.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And now moving forward, you have a full suite project management tool in Taskray to track every single step of the process. You've got a Kanban board to keep track of task statuses, a Gantt chart to track timelines and dependencies and understand how far along this customer is. You even get a full portfolio view to keep track of all of your active onboardings in one place and give visibility to the entire organization.
Wow, this is awesome. So now we don't have to worry about things falling through the cracks, and we can really ensure a great first impression, right?
Yep, for every single customer. And I think right now, this type of visibility and collaboration is more important than it's ever been. So, Alex, can we happy hour now?
Yes, we can. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers to that. And definitely under 3 minutes. Thanks a lot for the very, very fun demo. There was a lot of great pieces there. Where do I start? One, I just love the aspect of having a Kanban board in the app, as well as it being 100% built on the platform. But the Gantt chart is also great too. I think, in these days, a lot of customers and organizations in the enterprise are looking for an ability to visually understand the amount of task, and I think visually being able to understand where cards are, and avatars for visual indications on who is assigned to what makes it very easy to digest a project of any size. And so I can see here where you have the Kanban board where you click on the arrow, it drags it to the next place. This is just very intuitive, and it just makes life a lot easier. That, coupled with the fact that it's integrated into the sales process, automatically kicking off a template, is just everything in the same place at the right time. And very, very timely. So thanks a lot for giving us that tour of Taskray. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Hey, Amanda, what questions do we have out there from the audience for Taskray?
Yeah, today's webinar has been awesome. We have so many people on today. Unfortunately, there are folks that are trying to get in that can't. And we also have some audio issues for some people. I know that all of us on the panelists are able to hear each other, but we will have this recording on YouTube pretty shortly right after today's call. So you'll be able to listen and watch there as well. So thank you all for sharing your concerns there. Now on to the questions. Let's see. Is there a customer-facing view option for the project progress?
Yeah, that's a good question. So there's really two options. We have a view called the external sharing link, which is a read-only kind of snapshot of the Gantt chart view, so the customer can understand exactly how far along things are at any given point with just a refresh of that link. But since Taskray is fully native to Salesforce, we're also able to be embedded within a Salesforce community. We have a lot of customers who do that. We do it internally ourselves. So you can actually bring the customer in, assign them tasks, work with them in real time, and have a more collaborative experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that insight and also a great demo. We've got a couple of more demos to see, some exciting functionality from everyone here. So please, 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 please stay locked in and tuned in and be able to give your vote in a little while when we open it up for voting. Jeff, who do we have up next?
We have got Salesforce. Well, we're talking about the Salesforce Crisis Response app. When organizations are faced with a crisis of any sort, especially one like we're seeing today with the COVID-19 crisis, the ability to understand the impact and react quickly is pivotal. The Crisis Response app enables organizations to easily address the workforce impact, quickly respond to employees' needs, effectively keep employees in the loop, and smoothly ensure business continuity. The app is free to all and can be implemented in any org within just a few hours, giving back time to all the stakeholders so that they can take action in other areas. To show everything that the Crisis Response app can do today, I've got Claire with me from Salesforce. Claire, are you out there?
Yep, I am, Jeff. Can you
There
guys see
she
my
is.
screen
There you
here?
go. We have got your screen up here. So Claire, your 3 minutes begins now.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for that introduction there, Jeff. I'm Claire Pelton with Salesforce, and I'm going to be spending the next 2 minutes and 50 seconds here walking us through how we can use the Crisis Response app to track the entire experience of getting Lauren Bailey, who's an employee of Ohana Inc., back to work during this COVID-19 crisis. So we're going to start out in the Employee Crisis portal, where Lauren will go to access updates about the crisis, understand which locations are currently closed, and also proactively let the company know how she's being affected by COVID. As Lauren has recently been exposed to someone that's been diagnosed with COVID-19, she's going to log that she's currently self-quarantining and also submit a request to be able to work from home for the next 2 weeks until she's able to come back to work after the necessary isolation period. So now let's take a look at how an HR manager can view all of the individuals that have been impacted by the crisis, like Lauren. So drilling into our good friend Lauren Bailey here, we'll see that we have more information on Lauren, her affiliation with the company, and how she's actually being impacted by the crisis right now. As Lauren travels to different offices for her job, we'll want to see if Lauren has visited any of these places since she may have been exposed, and also check in with managers at those locations to see if there's any extra precautions that might need to be taken at this time. We can also offer Lauren any assistance that might be able to make her work from home experience more comfortable right now, and also respond to those requests that she submitted through the portal there. All of this information will also be rolled up on a crisis level metrics for executives to understand the full impact of what's occurring and really ensure that business continuity. So we'll see roll-ups of how the company was able to support Lauren and her coworkers through this crisis, and also be able to understand and report that back to key stakeholders. As we're getting ready to bring employees back into the offices, we can also ensure that it is going to be a safe and prepared environment for people like Lauren to be able to come back to work. So you've seen an example here of how the Crisis Response app can be used in a situation like COVID-19, but these business continuity methods and measures can also apply to other crises that a company might face in the future as well, whether that be a hurricane or other natural disaster, any other organizational crisis, or something like a global pandemic as well. With the Crisis app, organizations across industries of different sizes can understand and react to whatever those unexpected and changing conditions might be that they're being put through. So thanks so much, Jeff. I'll toss it back to you.
There, I get myself off mute. Sorry about that little delay there. So Claire, you know what I like about this is it's also simple when we think about it after we've seen the app set up, because really the records behind it, many of us who have been building on Salesforce for a long time, we know how to connect these things together, but you've eliminated the need to even think about all of these pieces. So for example, business continuity, that has a whole bunch of different aspects to it, but nobody has time in the middle of a crisis to figure out, what do I need to report on? How do I need to relate these records together? And by putting together the community front end to make sure that we can communicate effectively with our employees, let them self-submit issues that they have, we can see the impact throughout. We've got reporting built in. We've got all of the rest of the interface, really understanding the effects that are happening based on any of the self-reported information and understanding what the business continuity will be going forward. You guys have really packaged this all up, and by the fact that you've made it available on the AppExchange for free, as you said, it takes care of so many other issues beyond just the COVID-19 crisis that we're facing right now. And again, gets people onto working on other things that are also pressing right now. But the fact is, we need to effectively manage this data. And again, this applies to every organization out there, big or small. So thank you so much for showing us that today, Claire.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us on.
Well, I'm going to give it over to Amanda. What do we got for questions from our audience, Amanda?
You know, the questions are pouring in today. We love it. We hope we can answer as many as possible. And if not, if you're interested in hearing from any of these, app builders today, we can certainly put you in touch. I'm going to say, let's go with one of the latest ones that came in. These are all so good. Claire, is there any reporting available so you can have a quick view to see the people affected based on location and counts respective to a specific location, like for a quick glance?
Yeah, absolutely. So within the application, there's some dashboards and pre-built reports that come in. So those will track things like total impacted employees or other people that might be affiliated with the organization as well. So tracking people like vendors and other people that might be coming in and out of one of your locations. You want to make sure you're keeping track of those things as well.
That's fantastic. And actually, even as you show the dashboard up here, the employees marked safe. I was just going through the Bob Iger book that came out not too long ago. And as I heard in there, Disney has a way of marking all of their employees safe after natural disasters and things like that. Honestly, I don't know if it's Salesforce that's powering it, but knowing that you guys have already built this out, every organization can now utilize this to be able to make sure that we're taking care of our employees, we're knowing where they're at, and we're making sure that business can go on. So Claire, thank you so much for giving the demo today. I want lots of people to go out there to the AppExchange and grab this. So good stuff. Joshua, I'm going to hand it over to you for our final demo today.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Just one more to go. All right, so next up, we've got Vonage. Vonage is redefining business communications, helping enterprises use fully integrated unified communications, contact center, and programmable communication solutions via APIs. As a CTI partner on the AppExchange, Vonage Contact Center, formerly known as New Voice Media, is transforming businesses to easily deploy remote contact centers and business communications in response to COVID-19 crisis. With us today, we've got Nicole on the line, who's going to show us just exactly how Vonage is working with the COVID-19 crisis. Nicole, are you out there?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can. Your 3 minutes starts now. Over to you.
All right, great. Thanks, Joshua. Hello, everyone. So quick thank you for having me here today. I'm excited to kind of showcase the Vonage product and what we put together. So a quick kind of overview of what we're going to be looking at. So in our current environment, the need for business continuity with a remote workforce has become extremely relevant. This is especially important when we talk about the healthcare industry. These folks are not only on the front lines, but they also have to continue to support the general healthcare needs from the public. So what we're going to be looking at today is Vonage's contact center that's built directly on Salesforce Service and Health Cloud. This solution was designed to provide remote healthcare professionals a compliant communications platform where they can stay connected easily with their patients, other providers, pharmaceuticals, and other teams. So the specific features that you're going to see us walk through, we'll see a chatbot routing and how a healthcare professional can easily engage their patient in a HIPAA-compliant telehealth session. So if you can see my screen on the left-hand side, you'll see our patient Jordan's experience, and on the right-hand side, you'll have Dr. C, our healthcare professional. So Jordan, who's not feeling very well, he easily navigates through his patient portal and finds a chat tool that he's able to leverage. By clicking into this, he can quickly fill out a form. Allowing him to provide a brief description of what his ailments are, what might bring him to the site today, and request a telehealth session with his physician. Once this is submitted, on the back end, we're going to query Salesforce based on the information Jordan provided and determine who his primary healthcare provider is. Because it recognizes that Dr. C is Jordan's healthcare physician, we're going to route that chat inquiry directly to our doctor. From here, we can start a chat session, finding out exactly why Jordan needs to reach the physician today. So, hey, Jordan, how are you feeling? There we go. He can let the doctor know what his fever is and request that telehealth session now. Since everything's going to stay inside Salesforce, it's very simple for a professional to escalate this to a video conference. So we'll send link now. We'll navigate back to Jordan to the details, and directly from here, we can launch that telehealth session. So you can see how easily we can go from a chat. We can see Jordan's not feeling well. He's got his over-the-counter meds, and we can quickly address his needs. So the technology doesn't stop there. You know, we're a global communications platform, so we not only service the healthcare industry, but all verticals. So check us out in the AppExchange. Visit us at Vonage.com, and we're really excited to talk with you.
Nice. Thank you so very much. I was memorized by the demo, actually. Just being able to see the seamless interactions, even now people's faces, hi, with the integrated platform that you have inside of Salesforce, launching the telehealth center, converting someone from just a chat conversation to an actual interactive session. A lot of times, as an individual, I'm more likely to chat with someone, but these types of days, patience is wearing thin with a lot of the call centers being bombarded, but the ability to, keep my place in line, I can talk to someone and immediately go into a more, one-on-one conversation where I can actually see and talk to someone is what people really need today to get their answers as quickly as possible. I love the fact that you've got a nice lightning interface, and you were able to show the side-by-side version. So we got two personas for the price of one here, understanding what it's like from the Salesforce interaction side for the physician, and also what it's like from the patient side as well. So thank you so much for showing all of that with us today.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool. Amanda, what questions do we have out there for Vonage?
So many questions. People seem to really love this demo and all the demos today, but this has been great. Okay, so let's see. Is Vonage HIPAA compliant, and is that video all in your own IP stack?
Hi, great question. So Vonage, we conducted high trust certification, so we work with tons of companies that are in the healthcare industry. So yes, very comfortable signing BAAs. And yeah, we leverage a TalkBox integration, which is Vonage-owned video API that we can embed directly into Salesforce or our contact center solutions. So all within the Vonage umbrella.
Amazing, great responses. I love the fact that we're doing all of these demos, centered around really, what's going around in the world today. It's very, very timely, very needed, and you can obviously see that there's an uptake in need within our community for apps and solutions like all of the ones that have been demoed today. So thank you to you all for taking your time here and allowing us to get a demo of your products. Great stuff.
Which you know what that means, Joshua? It's time.
No, tell me.
Yes, it is time for our audience to go out there and start voting. We are going to be putting up the voting link here momentarily. We're going to be seeing it shortly. Or Amanda, are we going to be putting it into the chat?
It's on its way. It will be in both places. It's in the chat as well.
Right. So we want to make sure that you, the voting audience, take the time right now to go out there and vote. Now, if any of you works for the companies that are being displayed here today, I'm sorry, but you can't be out there voting for your own company. But we want everybody who's been a part of our audience today to go out there and be part of the competition, because you are going to help vote for who gets the award today. So, while we let everybody in the audience vote, Joshua, it is springtime. It is April. We've just gone through some holiday seasons here, and I, in the northern parts of the United States, surprisingly got 6 inches of snow on Sunday. I'm not sure about you. Have you had any snow recently, Joshua?
No snow, Jeff. I mean, how are you keeping track of the seasons? I actually have I have trouble just following the days. My weeks go by super fast in this quarantine atmosphere. I haven't been outside of my home for a very long time. And I'm okay with that right now. So to answer your question, I really don't know what's going on outside right now, but definitely no snow as I live in India.
Okay.
So
Well, that's kind of too bad
not a
that you
lot of
don't have
that.
any snow. If I could send some over, I would. But you know what?
No,
It's
thanks.
getting warmer here, and while I'll say I haven't been out too much as far as the going around places, I live out in the suburbs where we've got some really nice open areas where it's easy to stay away from people, and I've been getting my walks in every day. So thankfully, I've had some outside time to get some fresh air, which you know what? It's great to do that, especially when you know that you can be safe away from other people, and we do need some of that time outside of the house where you just aren't cooped up. And life is somewhat the same for some of us. Like Amanda, you work from home a lot. Joshua, you work from home a lot. I work from home quite a bit, although I do travel other times too. So while this has been a big transition for a lot of folks who are so used to being in the offices, there have been some things that seem just quite a bit the same to a lot of us, but I know it's been a transition for a lot of folks, especially. Well, it's interesting now because we get to see more about the personality of the people whom we work with and who are customers, our partners, things like that. Where you start to see, and I was doing this morning on a call. I was looking around, and at the end of the call, I said, "Hey, Steve, what is that pulley system in the background there for?" And I said, "Hey, um, Kiwi, how many pull-ups can you do on that pull-up bar that you got in the doorway there?" So it's good that we can actually get to know our colleagues a little bit better. Those are questions I wouldn't be able to ask in the normal situation if they were sitting in their regular office. So Joshua, have you asked questions of people around you and gotten to know them a little bit better?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've also heard really great success stories about what organizations are doing to keep their teams, sort of engaged with each other. I was on a call last week with Salesforce, and the support team is giving tours of their home and where they work and where they sit, and the family and the kids. So it's just really like integrating everyone into their day. I think now more than ever, partners and spouses and kids are able to really see what mom or dad really actually does does all day. Some of us are on call,
Yeah.
some of us are interacting. It's certainly been a change for all of us, including parents. Having to help out with homework. I feel like it's fantastic the fact that as organization in the tech space, we're here joining meetings and things like that. And now, kids as young as 5 years old are now joining Zooms and other webinar technologies across the world, learning how to attend a meeting and meeting etiquette. So it's really interesting the shift that the educational spaces has been made, and now all of these small little children are learning webinar etiquette very early, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we do this all the time, but yep, it's definitely good that we're getting to know our colleagues better, seeing a little different picture, and probably want to do everything that we can to make the best of the situation that we get. So, Joshua, did you know that we have a winner? The voting has stopped. And Joshua, are you ready
Yes.
to announce our winner?
I'm told we have a winner. Yes.
Go
The
for it.
winner today of AppExchange Demo Jam. What's today's date? April 16th. Yep,
16th.
April 16th, 2020, not 19 like last time. The winner of today's Demo Jam is Vonage. Congratulations, Vonage.
I
Are you
think,
still on with us?
that's such an, doing it on the wire there, but you're balancing on the wire saying, okay, we're going to do video, we're going to make this thing work, and it worked flawlessly. You showed us exactly how to move from chat into video telehealth sessions. In fact, there's probably a lot of people out there who are utilizing that with their healthcare provider today, and Vonage may be what's powering that. So do you have some words for the audience to thank your voting teams out there, your voting customers and prospects?
Yeah, thank you all very much, not only for voting for Vonage, but for joining the Demo Jam today. I know everyone's busy and kind of working in a different environment than normal, so we appreciate the time. Like we mentioned earlier, we really love to talk with all of you about the different solutions that we can really customize for your business. So you can find us on AppExchange. You'll see plenty of great reviews. And then you can also do some own brief search if you want directly from our website, so Vonage.com.
Awesome. Thank you so
Brilliant.
much.
Thank you so much. Amanda, do you want to close us out today?
Yes, thank you so much. This is perfect. Thank you, Joshua and Jeff. Thank you, everybody, for participating today. And thank you, Vonage. And thanks for everybody on the line. You can learn more about AppExchange at appexchange.com. We also have a page dedicated to the folks that competed in today's Demo Jam, and that is appdemojam.com. So you can go ahead, check out and install the apps that you saw today. We have over 5,000 solutions, so lots of things to check out. And thank you for the success of over 7.5 million installs and over 80,000 reviews. So it's a marketplace that is growing because of you, and we really appreciate that. So the Demo Jam is here every third Thursday, so join us again. Next month, we have sales apps, and the date on that is May 21. So because you're registered, all you have to do is join. You don't have to sign up again, and we will see you in May. And thank you all. That's it from us. Have a good day.
Bye-bye, everyone.